ability to engage the person, to bring them, to inform them, and then the opportunity to enroll them, to finalize, to close the deal. So then, how do you enroll Latinos and make you stand out? Because as we saw from the previous presentations, we see that Latinos and in general, we are searching and we are talking about the brands. And reputation is very important when you are choosing a doctor, when you are looking for healthcare information on that. So we have to engage these people. So in order for us to understand the game, let's meet some of our players. So we're gonna call Marcos, who is a foreign-born Latino who's searching for information. He likes maybe soccer, and he likes arroz con gandules, right? And he's searching for info. Remember that the context is not only the healthcare directly. Healthcare is affected by the lifestyle, and as we saw, lifestyle has a lot of searches. So food, information about recipes, information about other related terms. And then let's meet Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth is a native-born Hispanic, and her parents are born in another country. But she loves to talk with grandma about recipes, about food, about traditions. And let's meet Francisco. He's working. He's the manager of a restaurant, and he heard something about the law, but he doesn't know what it is about. What they have in common is searches. They are looking for information. They are in constant communication, right? So then from there, how do you persuade them to choose you as a health provider? There was a recent study from, this was in the Huffington Post media, where they showed that, as Google showed too, that trust needs to be in place when it comes to engaging Latinos, right? But how do you build trust? Well, you build trust by making a connection first. How do you build how do you make this connection? Is through content, through relevant content that speaks to the values, language, family, diverse traditions. We come from many different places. We come from different situations, and we search for food differently in every country. We have a very specific type of recipes that we search for. And we are in the United States. And remember, when the searches that were before, all of them are happening in the US, in Spanish, right here, from a cell phone. So we're not talking about searches that are coming from our countries. We're talking about searches that are being done right now. Now, from that, before building this trust, we have to avoid certain common mistakes, because whenever some companies think about Hispanic marketing, the first thing they comes to their minds is stereotypes. Like, yeah, all Latinos are equal, the same type of communication. We're gonna talk in just Spanish, and they miss the point. They miss that we have a different situations. Remember, Francisco, Elizabeth, Marcos. They are completely different situations, although they are here, although they are Hispanic, but they are searching differently. Second common mistake is poor translations. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of them. And for those of you who speak Spanish, how would you translate that to Spanish? Well, they put it success here, right? Although this is very funny, and it could be funny on certain industries, when it comes to healthcare industry, it's really dangerous, because there are certain prescriptions that are badly translated, and they are not in language that they can open to many legal action, as you know. So we have to have in mind that. Then from there, how do you start building trust, right? Well, we talk about culturally relevant content from one side, and we've been working on the companies that have been created this great content from one hand. On the other hand, you have Marcos, Elizabeth, and Francisco searching for that information, but sometimes they don't connect. There is a wall there. And there is a wall because there was even recently, there was a study done that Latinos consider the lack of information a key obstacle in obtaining health insurance. So we're talking about that we have content from one hand, and then we're saying people are searching for what's missing. That's when we call it Somos Latino, like the song, Somos Latino. But it's social, mobile, and local marketing applied to this culturally aspect. So how do we make sense of all of this, right? We unfortunately, Bruni wasn't here, but she, before, a couple of weeks ago, she gave us some tools, and this is a tool that whenever the census come back, the census.gov, you can go and look for this language mapper. And what it's saying here is that for Spanish, you see every dot there represents 100 people of speaking only Spanish. So as you can see, there are many, many people right there. So we knew there is a huge population of Spanish speakers. From Google, we know that they are searching, right? So to illustrate all this, how do we take that there is people there, they are searching, and they need relevant content? How do we put everything together? Well, in order to do that, we chose one specific segment of the population, the Ecuadorian population, being the fourth largest in New York from the census, and we did a joint project with Region Q magazine, which provides useful information for Ecuadorians living here. And also, as you know, I'm a little biased being Ecuadorian. I know a lot of that. I know the food, I know soccer. So the content is gonna be more relevant, more in tune with what people were searching for. So what are we doing here? We take the data from the census. We knew that, you seen this line right there at the end? This is Seguro Médico being searched from last year, July 2011. You see there was no trend, and then you see what? Just going to, I don't know the numbers, but I know it's spiking, because of the law. So we know they're searching there. So people are looking for more information in Spanish in the United States right now, okay? Now also, as we saw with Google data, it's not only health, but because there are other lifestyle things, and people not only looking for specifically health insurance in Spanish, but they are looking for other illnesses like high blood pressure, anemia, asthma, cholesterol. What do you see this in common? In common, all that you see is more and more searches on these topics. So people are searching for information about healthcare. Now, based on that, we also know where these searches are coming from. And not only that, but we know what other related searches are being done. So with all this information, what we can do is start creating content that is relevant for the specific community. So what we did was, okay, with the data from the census, we could identify the top 10 zip codes that are most populated by Ecuadorians. So we know where they are, location. And then we created a profile. I created a profile based on the behavior, based on what they want, based on what they need. And in the graphic below, you can see that we know where they are, but also because we want to talk specifically to Ecuadorians, we needed to find things that we know that Ecuadorians would like. So based on that content, based on that research, we know where they are, we know what they're looking for, we know what time where are their searches coming from. We start creating and building content. This content was based for different platforms, for Facebook, even for print. We knew what people were needing. We knew about, as you can see, food, health related, anything that is very relevant for these specific customers. Now, what we found out is that we got the content, as we talked before, plus the Somolo strategy, and we can get users to take action, because in any information we there was a call to action for them to enroll, to not enroll directly because this is not a specific healthcare provider, but to give us the information for that. Now, as I was saying, we created these specific tools and this specific information, but all this information is really, really relevant. Why? Because we knew what they're looking for. They were looking for food. They were looking for to cure. They were looking for home remedies to cure asthma, for example. Yes, we created the content, but we made a call to action to them. Now, with that, the results that we got were very, very interesting because with a highly relevant manner, we were able to secure top listings on Google with Spanish and with Obamacare, with if they qualify for Obamacare. But the most interesting fact was whenever they search online, this is actually from an actual phone search, and you see who was showing up on the maps was not the biggest companies. They were not the health providers, but the magazine. So imagine that a magazine that is not a provider is showing up more than the providers. That there is a huge opportunity for anyone right there that wants to reach that market. But as those are the top spots from there in the city. And then not only they found it, but they took action. They took action. They called or they set up an appointment. But with that, I just wanted to ask you. But if you are already investing in here, where this is health insurance, when you search for health insurance on Google Maps, this is all the competitors that the user is gonna find. The user, when they goes and search for health insurance, these are all the providers, health providers that he's gonna choose, right? But when he does that in Seguro Médico, this is what they get. So where do you want to compete? Why not in both? So now what's happening is just what happens in many other industries, where in politics, in music, in entertainment, that they saw the potential of the market. So I just want to invite you to take advantage of this opportunity that is being created. Google has the data, the census has the data. We know, look around, and for that, I think we're open to questions, and these are some of our clients, and as my email address. Thank you very much.
Any questions? George?
Yeah. How do you translate what you perform for the Ecuadorian community to other ethnic groups within the Latino community? So, if, for example, if a healthcare provider, let's say New York Presbyterian, wanted to target the Dominican community in Washington Heights, would that same kind of strategy be relevant?
No, great question. Of course, the same strategy that we took with the census data, we can know specifically the community, the zip codes, or where they are, this community is, and then based on that, we will search and research what's most relevant for that community in terms of food, in terms of health, in terms of illnesses, and create a culturally relevant content based on those findings. So it can be replicated.
So it doesn't necessarily, again, I presume that it doesn't necessarily have to be just with like a hospital. It could be a managed care company, an insurance company, who is looking to target in on the diversity of the Latino community, that similar kind of approaches can be done by them.
Yes, and also remember that there are going to be many new insurers, and they are going to be searching locally. If I didn't have any health coverage before and now I have it, I'm going to start looking for doctors. I'm going to start looking for hospitals, and that's going to be locally, because if I live in the Bronx, I'm not going to be searching on hospitals in Queens or in Brooklyn. I'm going to be searching around. So this game is going to be local. The more relevant that the provider is going to be around this area, and with the services they provide, is going to be better.
Any other questions? Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah. One.
Question?
I just have a thought. It's sort of, I haven't finished it in my mind, but I'll ask it and hopefully it'll come through. I think you're right on what you talked about in the Spanish community. There's 22 Spanish-speaking populations from 22 Spanish-speaking countries in the U.S. of A. And to get to them, you have to be at the local level, making it relevant to them. But I doubt that many of the Fortune 100 companies today will spend a lot of money subdividing these segments into 22, not counting that between these 22, then you have Spanish dominant, English dominant, and you have both.
Exactly.
So I wonder if there's a shortcut that some companies might be able to use to not have to go within the New York City alone and go to the Dominican, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, and the whatever groups need to be there. Because I'm afraid that most companies won't do that.
No, and you're right, and this is a great question, because the thought of creating different campaigns can be daunting. However, on digital, you don't have to spend that much of money because it's digital. You have to spend the money creating the content, not as in TV, not as in radio, where once you have it ready, you send it. On digital, you can create mini sites, mini specific, very highly relevant content places that they can come and they can enroll, and that can be replicated. And the fact that they don't have to invest in as you're thinking on the campaign on the national level, doing 20 different specific segments. In the internet is not the problem. The problem is that we're taking what we learn on other media and trying to apply it to digital. And that's not the case, because here is digital. We don't have to have it ready. We need to have it very, very specific, and tested sooner. You don't have to invest a lot of the resources and trying to go and create a full campaign. You can start very local, very specific, and by the results, you keep changing. We've been able to change the campaigns on real time. If you don't get any results, you keep changing until you get the response. And that is a lot more responsive, relevant, and it has more results. So the people who are doing that, there are many successes that they can show you in another industries. And that's going to be, I think, I don't know if Kelsey has these data, but the more relevant they are, they create mini campaigns and they get very relevant results on that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. Some takeaway points from Marcelo's presentation is build trust through content that is relevant to our Latino values. Content might be out there, however, it's not connecting to the Latino community. Somos Latino social mobile and local marketing is the bridge to enrolled uninsured Latinos. Somos Latino approach allows you to get to the right audience at the right time with the right content and through the right tool. Please keep in mind that 60% of uninsured Hispanics fall within the age range of 25 and 34 years old. Keep that data in mind. And with that, I leave you and have George Zeppenfeld come back.
One thing that I just wanted to mention that I realized that Marcelo hadn't touched upon is that, yes, he is available to go on the road. So obviously, you know, it's difficult to really get a appreciation of the total scope and opportunities of social media, digital media, in a 1.5 hour presentation. So, we had discussed that his organization is available to meet with managed care companies to give them a more specific presentation on how this strategy is solo. Say it again, Marcelo. Somolo would work within that organization. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if they're here, but I know that one of the things we wanted to do was to, at this event, recognize students that participated or were graduates of the Summer Enrichment Program of Greater New York Hospital Association. Whoever you are, will you stand up? I think we had 1 or 2 students. I know we have 1, don't we? Okay, so why don't you use your loudest pitch of your voice. Let us know your name and where you did your internship and what you're doing now. I think there were 5 or 6 Latino students that were in the Summer Enrichment Program of Greater New York Hospital Association. Unfortunately, I think they're either hard studying at the books, going for the next degree, or hopefully gainfully employed so they can join us this evening. But the Summer Enrichment Program is one of those programs that our association has been involved in with Greater New York for the last 5 years. We do the outreach and we participate in some of the mentoring. So I just wanted to make sure we made her aware. And also, are there any, are the representatives from the Latino Medical Student Association here? Okay, why don't you get up and just, they've been one of our regional partners, just give us your name and what your role there is. No, you can come on up to the, use that mic over there. Okay.
My name's Crystal Castañeda. I'm currently a 4th-year medical student at Weill Cornell, and I am one of the co-chairs of the Latino Medical Student Association Northeast Regional Board.
My name is Francisco Narvaez. I'm a 4th-year medical student at SUNY Downstate Medical Center. I'm the policy chair for our e-board.
Great. And thank you very much. So it's great having them, the Latino Medical Student Association, as members of AHI's Roundtable, and it's just amazing how these I don't know where to say younger or young people. I sometimes want to say younger because then I don't feel older. But it's amazing. Not only do they have such a strenuous academic year, but they have the time to really invest in leadership development and developing the association. So you do us all proud. Thank you. And as I said, we have other representatives of AHI's Roundtable, a Professional Hispanic Health Association. I believe I saw Dr. Sam Arce. Sam, would you just get up, please? Sam's a member. Oh, yeah. And we have Maria Elena Fonte, who is there. We have Susan, Dr. Susan Colin. Suzanne. She's there. She's with the mental health professionals. The representative of the Hispanic dentist was on a medical mission in the Dominican Republic and couldn't join us tonight. And we have Louis Vasquez, Mr. Louis Vasquez, chair of the National Hispanic Chamber of Commerce on Health here, and also very thankful to him for his continuing in-kind contribution of wine with Casa de Vinos. We love him. We love him more. And after 1 or 2 drinks, we love him even more. Lastly, I wanted to give an opportunity to the one of the vice chairs of the
Association's Managers Council to talk about what the Managers Council does to encourage you, your members. You know, when many organizations become sponsors of our annual awards, you get X number of complimentary individual memberships for your employees. And many of those employees are in management positions and certainly eligible to become members of the Managers Council. And I'm going to have Angela come up. She's well, I'm going to let her do her little bio of what she does, who she is, and how you can become more involved in the work of the association. Angela?
Hello. Hi. It's a great turnout today. My name is Angela Gonzalez Perez. I'm the Director for Regulatory Planning for the New York Presbyterian Healthcare System. The Managers Council was initiated years ago in an effort to promote young managers in the healthcare industry to become leaders in healthcare organizations. We obviously, have a lot of Latinos in the United States, but unfortunately we don't have enough leaders in the healthcare industry that represents us. So our goal, I'm going to read from my notes so I don't forget. So the Managers Council provides its members with continuing education, professional development opportunities, and social settings like today for networking. You get to meet other people from other organizations, from other parts of the business side of healthcare. And we also help our members, who represent many healthcare organizations in New York City, develop the skills necessary to navigate the very complex and multi-layered healthcare management arena. I mean, this is one aspect of it. I mean, we covered so many things. We have a great partnership with the Greater New York Hospital Association and really wonderful sponsors that help us create workshops every year. This year, we're developing a rich program that will go through 2014, very exciting program that will definitely gain more skills for our managers. For more information about the council and to become a member, please visit the newly enhanced AHE website where you could go online and sign up. Any questions? No? Thank you.
And just in closing, I want to thank, we have here Mr. John Jurenko with the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation. We're looking forward to developing a greater and a bonding partnership with Health and Hospital Corporation. Relationships are not just financial relationships. There are a lot of partnership opportunities that both of our organizations can develop. So we're looking forward to working with both John and Antonia Martin, the COO at HHC, to make that happen. So I want to thank the panel for their excellent presentations and hopefully try to get some of that information up on our website. I want to thank Marcelo particularly. I was on vacation in August, and there I was on the phone with Marcelo working on this conference. So it didn't end, so it takes a lot of work, a lot of strategy, a lot of behind-the-scenes work. So I think they did a great job. And lastly, I want you to make sure that you have an opportunity to speak to our exhibitors that are in the hallway. So don't think of it so much as a kind of a mouse inside a trap that you have to go a certain way, but in fact it is. So in order to get to the food, I could say you could go out that door, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to say is you got to go out that way, because this way you pass all our exhibitors and have a chance to say hello to them. So thank you again. Once you get your food, the door will be opened, and you'll be able to come in here and sit down and do some networking, have your wine, and speak to other people. Make sure. I hope you all brought business cards. Thank you for coming. Look forward to seeing you again. All right.
As I mentioned, one of the co-chairs for the Latino Medical. Or I'm not sure if you guys have to travel far to get
Mi colega de la misma dirección.